Dear students of class 10A and 10B, already I have introduced the lesson, The Rise of Dictatorship. In terms of the lesson, The Rise of Dictatorship, I shall teach you the same lesson with the following points mentioned in the book. Humiliating Treaty of Versailles, growing fear of communism, economic crisis, militant nationalism, and anti-Jewish attitude. First one, humiliating Treaty of Versailles. You know, at the end of the First World War, the Allied powers blamed Germany to be responsible for the First World War. Since Germany was defeated in the First World War by the Allied powers blamed Germany for the entire damage, for the entire expenditure, and drafted a treaty with many terms. This treaty is known as the Treaty of Versailles. It was signed in the year 1919. The Treaty of Versailles was signed at the end of the First World War. Before, when the First World War was going to be over, the process of the Treaty of Versailles was the process of making such a treaty. The Treaty of Versailles was started because the Allied powers knew that Germany and the Axis power was going to be defeated. So, who was the architect of the First World War? Who declared the First World War? It was Germany, who played a very negative role in the First World War, and from all sides Germany attacked the Allied powers in order to increase her colonies in Asia, Europe and Africa, in order to compete with the foreign powers, European powers like England, Russia, America, France. That's why they declared the First World War and fought against the Allied powers. They also make, triple entente, triple alliance, triple entente. In protest against the act of Germany in the First World War, the other European countries who joined the Allied powers, they decided to make such a treaty in order to destroy the German nation. Triple alliance was made by Germany, Austria-Hungary, later Italy joined, but Italy also joined it. So, in order to check the influence of the Triple Alliance, the Allied powers formed Triple Entente. They were France, England, America. They formed Triple Entente. But ultimately, Allied powers defeated Germany in the First World War. With the defeat of Germany in the First World War, came to an end. So Allied powers blamed Germany responsible for the entire damage, loss of property and lives. And that Treaty of Versailles was signed. Under the terms of the treaty, Germany had to lose all her colonies in various parts, Asia, Europe and Africa, and Germany had to pay $33 billion as war reparation or indemnity. That's why this treaty was a humiliating and insulting for the German nation. Germany was forced to pay heavy reparation like that. The terms of this treaty harmed the sentiments of German people. The terms of this treaty were greatly resented by the Germans, who had been eagerly waiting for an opportunity to take revenge. So these sentiments of the German people were exploited by whom? These sentiments of the German people were exploited by whom? Were exploited by Adolf Hitler. He exploited it. He openly encouraged the Germans by deliberating speeches. He openly challenged the authority of the Allied powers and considered the terms of the Treaty of Versailles as waste paper basket, and assured the people of Germany to rebuild New Germany and to recapture the former glory and image of the Germans. It was due to an effort of Adolf Hitler. Germany showed the pathway of development. People of Germany who lost all hopes never thought that Germany would be able to stand upright, because the entire economy of Germany was destroyed by the Allied powers. Almost all, the colonies were taken away. All the resources, including industrial areas, coalfield areas. Saar means a number of, coal quarries also came under the hands of the Allied powers. And the industrial areas also were given to the Allies to use for a term of 15 years, for a term of 10 years. How much insulting was it for the Germans? Hitler tried to make it understand with persuasive arguments. And the people of Germany accepted Hitler as their leader. They realized that under the leader of Hitler, Germany would recapture her former glory and image. Next point, growing fear of communism. Growing fear of communism. Growing fear of communism. At the end of the Bolshevik Revolution in Russia, Russia decided to form communist sentiments among the Germans. It was due to that reason Communist Party was established in Germany. And the influence of the communists had increased considerably. They were able to capture a number of seats in Reichstag during election. Hitler warned the people of Germany not to cast vote for the communists because he warned the people of Germany that the communists were the servants of their Russian masters. So, if once they would come in power, they would follow the instructions of their Russian masters, not the language of the German people. Hitler therefore tried to persuade the people in Germany that Nazism alone could check the growing influence of communism in Germany. Next one, economic crisis. Next point, economic crisis. As a result of the Treaty of Versailles and its terms, Germany suffered a lot. There was no hope on the part of Germans to gain back her former image. Germany had to suffer a lot in the field of agriculture, in the field of foreign investment, trade, commerce, etc. The European countries raised tariffs against the German goods. After the defeat of Germany in the First World War, Germany was weakened. In order to weaken Germany, the European powers, the Allied powers, raised tariffs against the German goods. The condition of the farmers became very miserable, deplorable. They were not allowed to cultivate until their area was collected from them. By June 1931, debts on farmers had risen to 300 million. Almost all peasants and farmers came under the clutches of the moneylenders. The peasants, the farmers who lent loans from the moneylenders, they had to lose their lands. The moneylenders captured their lands. And as a result of it, almost all peasants and farmers of Germany became landless people, landless peasants, landless farmers. Hitler promised the farmers that he would remove their distress. The amount of loan, whatever they lent from moneylenders, he would pay it on behalf of them. Besides, Hitler won over the capitalists by saying it that the communists would become their rivalries if they would come to power. They would utilize all the resources of Germany for their own country, Russia, because the communist workers were the servants of their masters, Russian masters. As a result of it, many capitalists were influenced by Hitler, and Hitler gained support from the industrialists. When Hitler promised them all glory, all image for the entire German nation, they welcomed him. They welcomed him with open arms. Second, last point, point number 4, militant nationalism. What is militant nationalism? The Germans were boast of their own culture, own language, own tradition, own education, own economic prosperity. Because of their own image, own glory, own culture, own tradition, they always were proud of their old traditional system. But after the defeat in the First World War by the Allied powers, the Germans, the country Germany, felt that only one powerful man is required, felt that only one powerful man could protect the country from being more and more weakened. That's why, in order to check the growing popularity of communism, the rise of Hitler encouraged the people of Germany. They strongly supported Hitler because of their militant nationalism, because of their national identity. They realized that only one man, Hitler, could gain it back, could get it back. That's why they welcomed Hitler. They all welcomed Hitler and promised that they would support Hitler to come to power. Now, anti-Semitic propaganda means anti-Jewish attitude. Anti-Jewish attitude. Hitler directly blamed the Jews of German Jews. Why? Hitler felt it that it was due to the conspiracy of the Jews of Germany. The Allied powers were able to defeat Germany. Otherwise, Germany would defeat the Allied powers in the First World War. So, he decided to rusticate all the Jews from Germany. He decided to teach all the Jews a good lesson. But you know, so many Jews were there, lower class people, middle class people, upper class people. Hitler made different arrangements for different classes of Jews. He constructed concentration camp for the lower class Jews and middle class also, in order to teach them a good lesson, because they were involved in conspiracy, and it was due to their conspiracy, they are plotting. Germany was defeated in the First World War. That's why Hitler made such an arrangement in order to strengthen the economy of Germany, in order to strengthen the military power of Germany, in order to teach the Allied powers a good lesson. He decided to forcefully teach the Jews a good lesson, and hence the Jews had no place in Germany, and the upper class Jews had to leave Germany. They migrated themselves from Germany to another countries of the world. Some of them went to England, some of them went to America, some of them went to France, but they left their motherland. It was due to the political pressure of Hitler. They had to leave their motherlands. Up to this, my dear students, next day, the remaining points I shall explain, I shall teach you. Thank you.